In the history of rock music, few people are as mysterious and crazy as Ozzy Osbourne as the lead singer of Black Sabbath. His raw voice and wild shows made the band super famous. But behind the scenes, Osbourne's fights with drugs and alcohol and his wild behavior really hurt his friendships and made the band fall apart. Tony Iommi, Black Sabbath's guitar player and co-founder, has often talked about these crazy times, showing how Osbourne's actions really hurt the people around him. Picture this: Birmingham, England, late 1960s, for young guys. Ozzy Osbourne, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward committed to start a band that would soon change heavy metal music forever. They worked great together, with Osbourne's spooky singing perfectly going with Iommi's heavy guitar playing. The friendship between the band members was real. Like brothers brought together by their love for music. But as they got more famous, the pressure of being rock stars got harder. Osbourne started drinking a lot of alcohol and taking drugs, which would make him act crazy and hurt his friendships with the band by the mid-1970s. Osbourne's drug and alcohol troubles had gotten really bad. His heavy drinking and drug use made him act weird, mispractice, and play badly at concerts. Tony Iommi, in many interviews, has talked about how hard it was to work with Osbourne during this time. The band was always in trouble because Osbourne was so unpredictable, making it hard to keep the group together. Geezer Butler and Bill Ward also got hurt by Osbourne's actions. Ward, especially, had his own drug and alcohol problems, and Osbourne's behavior often made his problems worse. The group that used to be really close started falling apart with personal fights getting in the way of their music. The breaking point came in 1979, after a bunch of terrible concerts and growing anger. The band made the hard choice to kick out Osbourne. Tony Iommi has said this time wasn't of the hardest in the band's history. Even though they were really close, Osbourne's behavior had become too much to handle, and the band felt they had no choice but to keep going without him. Osbourne leaving was a big change for Black Sabbath, while they kept making music with new lead singers. Not having Osbourne's special voice and wild personality was really hard to deal with. For Osbourne, this time was filled with more personal problems as he tried to figure out what to do without the band. Ozzy Osbourne's problems with drugs and alcohol went way beyond the stage, destroying his personal life and leaving hurts that would take years to get better. His marriage to Sharon Osbourne, the woman who stayed with him through his best and worst times, became like a war zone as his addictions got worse. Sharon has told painful stories of flaving with Ozzy during his worst times, talking about times when he said mean things that really hurt, as well as times when he got physical that left scars, both real ones and emotional ones. For Sharon, each day was like rolling dice, not knowing if she would see the loving husband she knew or the crazy stranger created by alcohol and drugs. It was a life lived always, being careful, trying to balance love and staying safe. Even with all of her strength, the damage was clear. She became both Ozzy's protector and sometimes his victim, THB, a love that was as strong as it was tested. Her children, Aim, Kelly, and Jack, were hurt too. Growing up in a home filled with the craziness of their father's addictions, while many kids remember fun family times, Ozzy's children lived in an atmosphere filled with chaos. For them, their father's fame and success didn't matter when his addictions took over everything. Kelly and Jack, especially, saw their father's good times and bad times very clearly. And the hurt from those years would stay with them well into their adult lives. They, too, would fight with their own addictions. Each fight was like problems they had watched their father go through. Their home filled with the expensive things that Ozzy's fame had bought was often missing the peace and safety that most families have. In his clearer thinking times, Ozzy has talked about the really strong guilt and sadness he feels for the pain he caused his family. He doesn't try to avoid the blame, Hess. Instead, he admits with a heavy heart the lasting hurts his actions have left on the people he loves most. He has said that when his addiction was at its worst, he couldn't really understand the damage he was causing. His world had gotten small, only thinking about the next drink, the next high, with no room left for anything else. Now, however, he sees those years for what they really were, a fall into darkness that stole a precious time from his family. Time he can never get back. Fixing those broken relationships has been a journey filled with hardship, but also with a strong hope. Sharon's love for him, made stronger by her own toughness, became the anchor he held on to as he tried to find his way. Back, the scars are still there, proof of what these survived together. But so is the connection that has lasted through it all. For his children, his forgiveness has come slowly, built on years of shared pain and careful steps toward healing. Ozzy understands that every family get-together a moment of peace is hard won, and values them with a thankfulness Thoth may not have been able to feel in his younger years. Today, his family's family is proof of both the damage addiction can cause and the strength that love can create. His journey to getting clean has been proof of the power of making things right. A chance to heal the wounds he once caused, even though the shadows of the past are still there. Ozzy's promise to his family has become his comeback story, proof of the sacrifices they made for him and the strength it took to rebuild from wreckage. For Ozzy, each moment with his family is a second chance. A chance to be the husband and father he could never be in those dark years. A chance to show that even the deepest scars can heal. Years after he left Black Sabbath, Osbourne started a solo career that had both good times and bad times. His continued drug and alcohol abuse led to many personal and work-related troubles, but the turning point came in the early 2000s when he promised to get clean. With the help of his family and former bandmates, Osbourne started the long road to getting better. Tony Iommi, even after their past fights, supported Osbourne during this time, showing the lasting friendship between them. Their friendship, once hurt almost beyond repair, found a way to heal today. As Ozzy Osbourne thinks about his crazy past, his heart is heavy with both regret and thankfulness. The wild rock star who once loved to chows now sits with a view shaped by age, being clean and loss. He openly admits the pain he caused, not only to himself, but to everyone who loved him. The scars are there, both ones you can see and ones you can't, marked into the lives of his family, his bandmates, and the fans who watched his fall. He remembers with a sharp sadness the moments he lost to addiction, missed birthdays, broken promises, concerts done while high on drugs. Yet, along with the regret, there is thankfulness. Thankfulness for second chances, for a family that stayed with him. And fourth strength he somehow found inside himself to face his demons and take back his life. Tony Iommi's thoughts about Osbourne Adanathor, Part 2, this story. For years, Iommi carried the weight of Osbourne's cruisy behavior on his own shoulders, keeping the band stable while dealing with the chaos. Ozzy brought to every tour and every recording time. Iommi's stories about those years show not just the problems of fame but deep cost of loyalty. While others may have walked away, Iommi stayed. His loyalty to the music and to his bandmate kept him tied to the journey, no matter how dark it got. Iommi's thoughts show a side of rock and roll rarely talked about. The personalities, the sacrifices, and the quiet strength needed from those who stand by loved ones lost in addiction. His touts show that forgiveness is a journey, one that needs time, pain, and the courage to believe that healing is possible. For Osbourne, the journey to making things right has been nothing short of huge. Facing the damage left by addiction's path needed more than just saying sorry. It required change, being humble, and the willingness to live differently. Through years of struggle, therapy, and the support of his wife, Sharon, He has worked to rebuild the relationships he once tore apart. His road to Recoveros filled with going back to old habits with moments of sadness and frustration. But he never stopped trying. Each year brought more clarity. Each step back gave him a deeper understanding of the strength he needed to break free. It was a journey not just to being clean, but to a new way of living, one where he could look in the mirror and for the first time in years recognize the man looking back. The story of Ozzy Osbourne and Tony Iommi, however, is not just one-off survival. It is one of brotherhood stood by the fire of hard times. Their friendship, once hurt almost beyond repair, has been rebuilt through forgiveness and respect for each other. Iommi's willingness to forgive, a understand that Ozzy's destructive path was as much a fight inside himself as a new side force, brought their friendship to a place neither of them could have imagined in their youth. What was once a friendship built on music and shared dreams is now one based on strength in a hard-won understanding of the damage addiction causes, and in the lasting hope that even the most broken relationships can be fixed. Today, Osbourne and Iommi's story serves as a powerful lesson to Theric and Roll World, a warning story and a light of hope all at once. Their journey reminds us that legacies are not written only in fame and records sold, but in the battles fought backstage, in relationships rebuilt after years off chows, and in the ability for making things right hat lives within us all. For A's, his legacy is no longer about that crazy behavior that once defined him. Instead, it is about the strength he found in being clean, the forgiveness he earned, and the courage it took to face the darkness within. He may still be the prince of darkness, but his greatest victory lies in his journey toward the